through the past years that this is the time of year where people say, peace on earth, goodwill to men. But how can we have inner peace? And why not just not only at this season, but all throughout the year? As the years go by, more stress, more anxiety is being put upon us through this noisy world around us and everything else that is happening in this world. Agree? Some of us look for peace in terms of searching for a place that they can go to experience peace, like a spa. But what if you can't get to those places? How can you feel inner peace in amongst a stressful day? We can learn to seek out that inner peace and therefore to have access to it whenever we please. But how? That's the question. We know that we experience peace when we feel a mental calmness come upon us. But when is the last time that you allowed yourself to feel that mental calmness? For some, they are still waiting for the ideal, perfect situation in order to feel mental calmness. And if you're waiting for that perfect, ideal moment, there's always something in our days, in our lives, to cause us even more anxiety, right? So what do we do? First thing, when you wake up in the morning, I want you to decide and to imagine that you have a plate before you, and it is clean. There's nothing on it. It is what you decide each day to start putting on that plate. I want you to take a few minutes with that clean plate every morning that you are going to take a break before you start adding the stressors and the anxiety back onto that plate. We know that by the end of the day, how everything is just piled on top and you have such an enormous plate, but that's at the end of the night. But you don't need to put everything onto your plate. Envision yourself that the next day, then you're going to add something else to that plate. And believe it or not, the more you practice this, the more you take that break in the morning. Maybe you can only do 5 minutes at first, but with practice, it will continue on longer and longer. And then with practice, you'll be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm only putting 2 things on my plate today. The more we put on our plate, the more cluttered our mind becomes. Think of the steps that you need to take today to prevent the stress for tomorrow. Bless it.